letting us use his facility, having the catering of this event. And it's really important to have community leaders that will support things like this so we can make it happen. Because without leaders, without sponsors, this is impossible to do. Pastor Hagan, as my witness, this vision, as he was saying, is not something that just started this year. Actually, in 2017, we had a similar event. As the event was approaching, it seemed like every turn I turned around, there was something that was going wrong. So Kirk was speaking to schools. He said, well, this school is going to the camp. This school is going to be at one camp. This student's out of town. So you might know my speaker. It was Akeem, the Dream Davis himself. He had already committed to do the event. So I said, Akeem, look, okay, we got this event coming up. I don't know what the turnout is going to be like. What do you want to do? And one of the many things, I'm starting to get a list of Akeem sayings, but he said, we don't count numbers, we make numbers count. So I said, hey, if you're ready to roll, let's roll with it. So I said, whatever it's going to be, he said, we're going to go and we're going to do it. No matter what the turnout, we're going to honor it. Whoever shows up, we'll do the event. So I said, let's roll with it. So we showed up, and we had the praise and worship team here, we had FCA here, we had the staff here, and we had one athlete show up. But we still had the event. I don't know if he's here. He was a Laurel student. I think he was a 10th grader, so if he's here, please stand. He might have graduated last year. But if he's not here, that one student was sowing a seed for this event. So I truly believe if we weren't faithful over that one student, then we wouldn't have this turnout today. As I started planning this event, it's now 6 months ago. As my wife, I'm sure, is tired of hearing about it because I've literally probably talked about this event for the last 6 months. But we started to have some adversity. And, they said, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to cancel the event? What do you think? And that was never even an option in my mind. I said, absolutely not. We're going to push forward. And as we began to overcome the adversity, I said, look, God, I know that this is a vision that you told me to do, but I'm running into roadblocks. So at this point, if there's going to be an event, I'm just stepping back from it. And if this is what I'm supposed to do, doors will start to open up. And as I did that, I started to speak with different leaders, different sponsors, and it took me about 30 seconds, literally, to win over the sponsors. I don't think I had to really even get my whole presentation out before most people said, sure, I'll sponsor this event. And that's really what this event has been. It's been a whole community coming together to support their youth. So for our athletes that are here, the days when you feel like you're on your own or nobody has your back, that's not true, because everyone that you see here in this audience that has given to this event is because they really care about you and they think about you. So the scripture that I just started to speak over this event, as it got off to a rocky start, was Ephesians 3:20. And it said that now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. And literally every goal that we set for this event, we far exceeded it. And I really feel that that is the reason why we did it. So once again, welcome. We have a great lineup for you. We have local talent as well as Roman Harper that will be speaking to you tonight. So please, like Pastor Hagan said, just open your minds to receive a message. So earlier this evening, we had our now 6th annual Scholar Athlete banquet. So I know we have at least one. I don't know any other previous Scholar Athletes in the crowd. Come on, man. So yeah, John Mitchell, I know that for sure, who will be going to UT Martin next year. And for the Scholar Athletes that were recognized earlier, will you please stand as well? We really applaud you. The Scholar Athletes were chosen not by us, but by their coaches, by their athletic directors, and it's not only for their on-the-field accolades, it's really because they are good leaders and good people in the community in what they do. And also, good scholars have good grades. So, I will now welcome to the stage Coach Todd Breland, who is the head football coach at Laurel High School, as well as the athletic director, and he'll introduce our first speaker.
Good evening. Thank y'all, Dr. Burgess, you and everybody that put on this event. It's getting better every year. We certainly look forward to it. I was tickled to death a few weeks ago when Dr. Burgess asked me to introduce Keon tonight for a lot of reasons I won't disclose here. I won't tell you everything I know about him, but what I will tell you, that the year 2012 and 2016, Keon Harper was an outstanding student athlete in Laurel High School. Athletically, he led his high school football team to a 41-13 record. He had, as an individual, 11,532 passing yards with 124 touchdowns, capping off with 1,371 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns. He led his team to the overall 5A state title in 2014. He was listed as a 3-star quarterback, all-region, all-state, and a Dandy Dozen selection. He finished his high school career as the quarterback for the Mississippi team, defeating Alabama for the first time we played that game in Mississippi. Keon is now currently a student athlete at Tulane University. We're so proud of him and what he's accomplished so far in his life. He is an outstanding student athlete, outstanding citizen for the city of Laurel. Would you please help me welcome Mr. Keon Howard? How y'all doing?
First of all, I want to say, Dr. Burgess, thank you for this opportunity. Really, truly blessed and honored for this opportunity. Thank you. First of all, so I want y'all to paint this picture. Coach Breland, Coach Buddy Duke, Coach Davis now, they all agree to this. So growing up, and of course I went to Laurel. I actually stayed across the street from Laurel. So in the morning times, doing some workout, they used to have to work out at 5 a.m. So a couple times, I used to see them get up in the morning time. I used to get up and go to school, brush my teeth, and I always see the guys leaving the locker room going to the school. So I came home one day, I told my mom, like, hey, mama, in the morning, wake me up about 5:15. My mom used to be up around at that time. Wake me up about 5:15 in the morning so I can go in and work out with the guys. I'm like 6 years old at the time. So my mom was like, looking at me strange, like, okay, I guess whatever, you know, you say so, I do. So at that time, she woke me up, went over there the first day, knocked on the door, Coach Smith in the window, like, go home. Yeah, he told me, like, go home. So Coach Buddy Duke, I kind of sweet talk Coach Buddy Duke one day, was like, hey, Coach, you know what I'm saying, let me just slide in next morning. Don't tell Coach Smith. So he was like, you gonna get me fired. So I'm like, nah, Coach, just trust me, just listen to me, let me do it. I really want to do it. Like, you really want to do it? I really want to do it. He, okay. So next morning, same time, 5:15 again. Mom still looking at me kind of strange, like, you up to something. So I continued, I did it. This morning, I found Coach Buddy Duke, tipped on the side window, like, so after that, he kind of came through the side door, kind of opened the front door, unlocked it, and kind of walked off smooth, like, you know. So yeah, so I went in. When I came in, I see Coach Breland and Coach Smith looking like, who let this kid inside? Wait, we all gonna get fired. But just saying that, in a sense of saying though, growing up, being a part of Laurel, watching Coach Davis and those guys, 2000 class, that actually won the state championship before I did. Appreciate that. Just watching those guys sacrifice all their time, being a student athlete, really showing me at a young age what it would take to be able to sustain those goals. Kind of gave me an eye opener at a little age, at a younger age, to be able to understand what I have to do when my time is approaching and came for me. So when that time came, like Coach Breeden just said, I sustained the goals because the standard was already set for me, and I already knew my task. So let me give you a couple of little hints about Coach David now. 2007, won state championship. Kind of gave it back. Kind of gave the keys over to the city, if you can say, to the city, to Coach Pruitt now, Dontrell Pruitt, who actually coaching at East Mississippi now. And so along those lines, it was always a standard. King went to the state championship, won it. Dontrell was always a type of guy that led by example and vocally. So just being around those guys, watching those guys groom themselves and groom their team, kind of gave me an outlook of how I should approach the situation when my time came, and it was time for me to drive the boat. And so Dontrell and them, 2012 team went to state, lost. The worst feeling was just seeing them go through all that hurt and pain, and so seeing them do so much they sacrifice to be able to go there and actually put forth the effort to win. And just seeing those guys leave that field with their head down, crying because they know all the hard work, all the sacrifice that they put into this season, and they lost. So just taking away from that game kind of brought me to tears, actually, because I witnessed that. Just being around those guys and understanding what all it really takes to be able to, just be able to go and be able to play on that big time stage as a little kid. Some of you always dreamed of watching those guys, being able to just go out and live their dream and be able to sustain those goals as a student athlete. So when my time came, Dontrell told me, we sat down, he talked to me, told me, this is something that we hold, that me and the King hold true to our heart. And we are not giving you the keys to the boat to be able to drive the boat. So drive it, carefully, but drive it. And drive it in your own way. Don't do it like a king did. Don't do it like I did. But be Keon how, and be proud of Keon how. So with that being said, first thing I started out, I tried to look at going into 2012 summer. Trey said, don't do it like my way. Well, I tried to because I knew everything he did was the correct way and the right way, and it got him towards a state championship. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it his way in my mind. I'm just gonna work hard, stay out, do extra reps, make sure I'm pushing my guys to be the best they can be more vocal, be that guy that come in 10 minutes early, leave 30 minutes late. Ask Coach Breeden, hey, what can I do? Can I get the broom? Can I just sweep up the floor? Being that type of guy, having that type of grit, kind of brought me and showed me the way. So, just along the way, kind of bad back a little bit. So for my career, it all started for me the summer going into my 7th grade year. Me and my mom off to summer school, taking summer classes. Back then we had a summer school. Some of y'all know I love it. But we had summer school, and I was just a regular kid from staying across the street from our high school. And my mom talking to me like, hey, we're gonna get you on the basketball team, we're gonna get you on the football team in middle school. So I'm like, whatever, okay, let's try it. So she go talk to Coach Fletcher, and me not knowing Coach Fletcher from a man in the moon. He looked at me, and I will never forget that look he gave me before he even knew who I was. And he said, I'll give you a chance. All thing I ask you to do is believe in me and believe in yourself. And at that age, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that. Trying to believe in myself as an upcoming 7th grader, first in middle school. And I took those words to heart and kind of let that be my foundation of who I am, of who I'm trying to build my character to be. And along those ways, all the way up to today, I still hold those true to myself. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just want to thank Coach Flick for actually giving me the opportunity, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even stand up here right now. And I just pray for him. I thank him every day. Thank him every day. So I went on, played middle school ball, did all right, somewhat. 8th grade year rolled around, kind of built a rep for myself around the community, around the county, of I can actually play football somewhat. So Coach Fletcher brought me in. Coach Fletcher actually coached me there, brought me in, and they said, "Hey, take over the team. We're gonna give you the team, take over, be that leader, be that guy that we know, we believe you can be." So I believed in him. Like I said, I watched that trail him since I was little. Watched Coach Davis since I was little, and watched how those guys work, and I put that towards my use as well. I always just text Coach Davis, 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning. "Hey, Coach, you up?" "Yeah, man, what's up? I just need to talk." And he was always there for me, and I appreciate that. And 8th grade year came around. We did all right. We did pretty good. I think I'm gonna say 8-4 that year. Boom, the big boy draws come on. In the 8th grade year, Coach Breeden come into the locker room. We playing basketball. Coach Breeden always come to our basketball game. Sit on the side of the wall, like, just scope us out, recruit us, I guess you want to say. But yeah, so during basketball season one day, like a Tuesday or Wednesday, he pulled me to the side. "Hey," I said, "What up?" He said, "What you think about moving on up?" I'm like, Move up for what?" And he was like, "No, serious, like move up and play. We believe in you, we see what you got, we feel like you can be able to lead our team this year." I'm an 8th grader. The young guy, I'm 14 at the time. He telling me to go lead some 14-year-old, 17-year-old guys to win games in a battle. So just having him believe in me and truly showing me the road, how to be more than just an athlete, how to be a student, and how to carry myself on and off the field. I respect that, Coach, and I thank you for that as well. Man. So 9th grade year come, I think we finished, I want to say 9-7, losing Green County in first round of playoff. So I'm like, dang, good season. And Coach Breeden like, "Back to work tomorrow, we go." I'm like, dang, Coach, we did pretty good. 8th grade, we did pretty good. He's like, "No," he's like, I'm pushing this offseason to be the best you can be." So I'm like, okay, I'm trusting you, Coach, because you gave me the keys to the boat. So 9th grade, going into my 10th grade year, the summer I'm going into my 10th grade year, then when Coach Kylan became the wide receiver coach. I already knew him because he played for my dad in Pee Wee, and we kind of played on the same team, like I say, 4-year-old. He was like, I want to say 10 at the time, he way older than me. So I kind of already knew who he was around the community. And just seeing him come up there like, man, I said, "Man, what's going on, Coach? You know, a long time no see." And he was like, "Man, I've been hearing a lot of good things about you." He said, "But the outseason is your outseason. Only be that guy." So he pushed me. He pushed me. Sometimes I wanted to quit. He pushed me. Work out 3 times a day. Morning get up at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock workouts, did some cardio again, did a workout at 7 o'clock, came back at 3 o'clock, ran the stadiums. So he pushed me in 10th grade, going into my 10th grade year. And my 10th grade year, some might say my junior year was my best year, but I believe my 10th grade year mentally as a quarterback was my biggest year for me, my biggest growth year. So 11th grade year, kind of went out, won state, 2006. 11th grade year, went out, won state, played with Omar Bayless, Ricky Holden, Shamar Key, double guys. That's when the foundation was built for long that year. That summer, we owned it. Not only us, not only the coach, but we owned it as an individual. We held each other to a high standard. y'all guys gotta start holding each other up to a high standard. Law, hold each other up to a high standard. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, your coaches, your mom, your dad, auntie, uncle, not gonna be with y'all every day when y'all out there running gas or something. Lifting weights early in the morning. Hold each other accountable and kind of just be there for each other. So I have 4 things tonight that I kind of hold dear to my heart, and they kept me on the straight and narrow path that I'm on today. And those four things kind of built my foundation, and I kind of went from there with my foundation. The first one is faith. Faith without work is dead. You have to have faith not only in yourself, but in God. And without God, none of this is possible. None of this is possible. So have faith, have courage of yourself. Be bold. Don't be afraid to step out and be that leader. When you see your buddies doing wrong, don't be afraid of, hey man, let's not do that. Let's not do that today. Let's try something better. Let's try something different today. Just hold each other accountable. Have faith. The same amount of time y'all spend on the field, in the weight room, on your phones, on the phone with your girlfriend, your little boo. Spend that same time in the Bible. Spend that same time going to church on Wednesday. Because I used to do the same thing, but as I got older, I understood my relationship with God, how important my relationship with God is, and I started going to Christ Church on First Avenue on Wednesday to Bible study, and at first I didn't want to go. Okay, man, it's different. You're stepping outside my comfort zone. I knew God. I knew who God was. I was raised on God all my life, but just actually taking that step inside my faith and understanding, trying to figure out who God is for myself. And not because my mom, my dad, my stepmom wanted me to, but because Keon Howard wanted to figure out who God was and how true God was. And with that, man, he opened up so many doors. I prayed about so much, and not just seeing those kind of manifest and come to life. It's truly a blessing. So 1, have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the things you're doing. And keep the faith when things get bad or when things don't go your way. 2, my family, my support system mean the world to me. Without them, I would have been forward. And I know that. And I thank my family, my support system, for always being there for me, for always keeping my knucklehead self on the right track, and just lifting me up when I'm down. And even when I'm in my highs, telling me, hey, you always gonna get better. You always have room to improve. So with my family, my support system, they always there, kept me along the way, kept me on the narrow path, kept me going in the right way. And when I felt down, felt bad, I knew I could be able to have somebody to go talk to. Sometimes I really didn't even talk to my support system. I used to get Coach Green and Coach Buddy Duke up 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I know when they're in bed, they're like, I'm up. And then we just talk. We're not even talking about football, but we're talking about life. We're talking about ways I can improve as a citizen, as a young man of God. And those conversations, the conversations that I know and I hold true and dear to my heart to today. And I remember those days. So I have the most respect for Coach for all the things that he put up with me along the way. Number three is the most important thing to me, honestly, on this list. And that's grit. First of all, I'm gonna read y'all the definition of grit, of my grit. The definition of grit means to me is to have a perseverance or a passion for a long-term goal or a long-term dream. And with grit comes a lot of things. You have to sustain a lot of things. And the ups, the downs, the highest moment when you make an A on the test, the lowest moment when you make a D high moment where things might be going in the way you think it might go. And all of a sudden, it might go the opposite way. Grit is a thing that you have to build it, cherish it, and hold it. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have. My last but not least thing is my fourth thing, and that's discipline. Discipline means to me just being able to sustain and have a guideline, being able to have a foundation and understand your foundation and the thing that you want to do, and the thing that you know that you were raised off of, and having that foundation and those discipline that your parents instill in you, where when they're not around, you know that they guide you in the right way. So, with those four things, faith, have faith in God, and He will lead you the right way. Family and support, one of the key things that I hold to my heart, because I know at the end of the day, if everything goes wrong, I know my family, my support system has my back. Grit, understand that grit is everything you need, and it's the only thing that will survive you and keep you going. And discipline kind of wrap around all four of those things: faith, family, support, grit, and discipline. And I thank y'all for having me today. Thank you.
Thank you again, Keon. So Keon, he's been around, like you said, for a long time. I remember meeting Keon at our Saturday morning injury clinic. First year I got here, and he said, "Doc, what are you doing here? Why you moved to Laurel?" And you know, I think he was challenging me, but he said, I finally asked him about it last year. He said, no, because I was ready to get out of here at that point then too. But every time I see Keon, I think about, why am I here in Laurel? And I feel like interacting with people like him, having events like tonight, that's really one of the main reasons why I'm here in Laurel. But that question has literally challenged me over and over again. And he said he asked it as just a passing comment, but it meant a lot to me. So now, moving on to our keynote speaker of the night, Mr. Roman Harper. I just met him today, but we started talking on the phone, exchanging text messages only about 3 months ago. But it really feels like I've known him now for years. We're both natives of Alabama. He grew up in Prattville, Alabama. I'm from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. First time I talked to him on the phone, about 30 seconds into the conversation, I said, I'm from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. He said, hold on, my college roommate was from Killen, Alabama, which is 10 minutes away, and we played him in football. So we immediately had a connection. And then I started to tell him about our program and what we're doing. And I mentioned that we had several guest speakers in the past, and I said, yeah, we had Bo Lowry from the Saints. He said, hold on, who? I said, Bo Lowry. He said, man, that's my dude. So right then, we were on common ground, and we started to talk about what was important to us. Mr. Harper, of course, great football player, 2-time Pro Bowler, 2 trips to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, of course, in 2009. But Roman Harper, the man off the field, is really who I want you to get to know tonight. He has his own foundation, Harper Hope Foundation. If you see some of the t-shirts, which are on sale tonight, Harper Hope Foundation 41, which he founded 10 years ago. And he does a lot to give back to his hometown. He has a lot of initiatives to help with early childhood education. He does a lot of work with United Way. And we're just really fortunate to have him here tonight. So without further ado, please give a South Mississippi welcome to Mr. Roman Harper.
Appreciate that. That was awesome. And you know what? Those stories are really true. He did tell me some Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which he enunciated a little bit better than most people that are from there. It's all one word from people that are from there. It's called Muscle Shoals. And I'm like, okay, I know where that is. And he's right. My college roommate is from Killen, or he went to Brooks High School. His name's Freddie Roach, and I grew up knowing that whole family in the Muscle Shoals area. And it's just really great. And, you know, Derek's been amazing. I feel he's right. I feel like I haven't known him for a long time, for many years, and we've only been talking for about 3 months, and we just go back and forth on text. He's checking in on me, and for me to be able to put a face with the voice and with the text and everything, he really truly is a great, great man, and I'm honored to actually know him and to actually be here today. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to South Central Sports Medicine Group for having us all here, Dr. Derek Burgess for reaching out to me, and also Mrs. Becky Collins, who's in the back, who's been like my sidekick, my assistant, making sure I got here on time. She's like a mother away from home. She's like my Mississippi mom right now, and I appreciate it. Who else? Yeah, that'll be right now. Oh, Neil Thomas, who's been my personal driver all day, who's actually kicked at Alabama. At 2001 was his last year when I got there as a true freshman. We were kind of putting stories together, and yeah, it was really funny to be able to go back and reconnect, and I appreciate Neil and everything he's been doing. He and Dr. Burgess have become really good friends since Dr. Burgess started here. Neil is actually a medical sales guy and comes down from Madison, Mississippi a couple times a week, and I don't blame him. I like Jackson too, man. Jackson's not a bad place, even though, I just got bad things, because Laura on that speed trap, as you guys don't know, on 59, right around the loop, with the music, I guess used to be an S curve or whatever, it got me. So I'm over it though. All right, so thank you. That's my little introduction. And so I came here tonight, Mr. Derek asked me to talk about a few things and how it can really, what I always try and do when I do speaking engagements and things like this, I try and make it relatable, or how can I make it the most relatable, most effective to the audience that I'll be speaking to. And he just pointed out a couple of things, and I'm just gonna stick right to the script. He wanted me to first lead off and talk about early age education. Early stage literacy, grades, all those things like that, the importance of it to me. Like he spoke on earlier, I started my own foundation, Harper So For One. I wanted to do after school programs for my hometown. That was the original mindset of it. I saw so many kids growing up fall by the wayside between those hours of 3:30 to like 6 or 7, between moms and dads getting home and when we're getting out of school. I just had so many friends that were more talented than me, that had so many great things going on for them, just kind of get in trouble. Now, fast forward to today, we still don't have an after school program in my hometown, but I've been able to start an early stage reading program, called Reading with Roman. I've been able to really hone in and focus in on a lot of these things that are causing these drop-offs and dropouts and these big, and kind of just disrupt this curve. That's all I'm trying to do, is just do my little part. I started working with United Way in around 2010 or so, 10 or 11 in Southeast Louisiana. They got a great United Way program. My friend Michael Williamson, who I call like family to me now, he runs the whole program. And the NFL has started this reading initiative. That's what they want to do. United Way throughout our nation had done a big research study on when kids were actually doing dropouts, when you actually learning how to read, and I didn't know these numbers. To me, school kind of came easy to me. I was blessed with smart parents that always valued and put value in education from the moment I was born, all right? I wasn't a big kid, I was always really little, I was fast, I was the youngest of 3 boys. I mean, I had to fight for everything I had. I was not the good athlete. My older brothers were better athletes than me. So to me, the only way I could ever do anything in football or sports, I was gonna be a punter. So I punted all the time in my backyard, and I'm a terrible punter, guys, terrible. But I had goals, and I had aspirations, and that's what my mom always harped on me. You gotta have goals, son, and you gotta get your grades. You gotta get your grades. So back to this reading initiative. So I come to find out, so between kindergarten and 3rd grade is when kids and children learn how to read. And from 4th grade on, you learn from reading. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So you have to learn how to read early. And then from there, it's all about reading comprehension. And if you're behind and you're not reading on your grade level, by the time you get to 4th grade, you slowly and surely fall slowly and slowly more behind. And now kids are getting bored in school. Now they're acting out in class. And by the time they get to junior high, that 7th to 8th grade level, all right, the studies show who's ever really being bad in school, 7th to 8th grade when it comes to grades, those are going to be all your dropout candidates. And over 1 million kids are dropping out in school in our United States every year. And I'm like, whoa. In my neighborhood, it wasn't that many. You know, it's always that same way in most high schools where the biggest class is the freshman year. All right, you got 600 kids in the freshman year. Then by the time you get to senior, that class is shrunk down to 350, 400 kids. It's just the numbers say it. It's just what it is. Nothing's changed. The kids have slowly but surely dropped out. They've moved out, things like this. And it's just an epidemic that we don't talk about enough. So from there, when I started finding out these numbers, I want to do my part. So I got really involved in New Orleans and really trying to get into, that's when I started reading with Roman. We brought in some celebrities, we've done other things. I would go and sit down and read. I would challenge kids, I would give away pizza parties. I would give away iPads to whoever read the most books at all these schools. And I've done this throughout my whole career, whether it was in Alabama, in Prattville, my hometown, or it was in the state of Louisiana in 6 different counties all throughout the state. So that's always been a part of me. I understood the realization and the benefits of reading and education. I look at my daughter, she's in 1st grade. We got her reading tutor because she was behind. The next you know, reading's her favorite subject. And it's really just all about accessibility and really challenging kids. Kids love to be challenged. And you just continue to push them and push them. And sometimes they don't even know they're being pushed. And eventually they start to kind of take it and run with it. I also will pat myself on the back. I told a guy this earlier, but I never made a C till I got to college. I made straight A's and B's all through high school, all throughout kindergarten, the whole way up. And that's purely because my mom always told me, as long as I got my grades, I could do everything. She also told me she'd get me a car when I turned 16, but that didn't happen either. So that was the motivation. And by then I was like, I've been on honor roll too long now, so I'm just gonna keep it rolling. So it's something about getting just a little bit of pat on the back, or getting that extra little bit of 5 or 15 minutes at the break time that I got in junior high, or just a little pizza parties here and there for making A's and B's, and eventually it becomes a habit. A habit is something you do over and over and you don't even unconsciously know you kind of do it. It's just what I do. I just got my grades out. I come home, I do my homework. Then I go to playing my video games and and all the normal schedule, but I was always there to do my grades and get my lesson. I've always done that. And it's really just takes a little bit of effort. It's nothing big, especially high school. I mean, the teachers are rooting for you. I don't meet many teachers in high school or junior high that are looking to fail kids. They want kids to be successful. That looks good on their resume, and it looks good as a team and as a school. They're rooting for you to do well. They're rooting for you to go out there in life and be successful. So now you can be one of the stories that we look back on. I remember my 2nd grade teacher, Miss Anderson. I can go back now and she just loves me to death. And she would tell me stories when I was in 2nd grade because she's like, you're one of us. All you guys here, you are all Laurel. You're all together. And that's how it is in my hometown. My hometown is no bigger than here or maybe smaller. And when one of us makes it, we all make it. And we're all rooting for each other. We all love one another. We all grew up in the same streets doing the same things. And when you're getting your grades out, people are rooting for you. This older generation, they see differences in us and they want the best for us going forward. I promise you that. Oh, and I also put this note, I'm sorry, this is so I can make this more relatable like I talked about. So I'm gonna look over here to the young fellas who I'm talking to. And when I say it just takes a little bit of effort, it really does. It's the same way you try and rank up in Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty. I know how half y'all play Call of Duty, or y'all play Call of Duty still? Y'all really play Fortnite now? I mean, Fortnite's alright. It's the same way. It's the same way you got to get the skins and stuff in Fortnite and get all the dances and all that other stuff, which you got to pay for them a little bit, even on a free game. But that's it right there. It just takes a little bit of effort, guys. All right. And I would also tell kids this. Coach Vera gave me some of the best advice I've ever heard from a grown man, and he would always just tell us. In 2015. I was playing with the Carolina Panthers. 2014, We were a terrible team. I know, I'm feeling you. We were a terrible team, and we ended up making it into the playoffs, sneaking in late because, everybody else in our division was worse than us. So, we got in the playoffs at like 7-8-1. It was terrible. It was way worse than what I'd ever been through in New Orleans. And the next year, our star receiver, he wasn't a star, but he was our best receiver, Kelvin Benjamin, gets hurt, tears his ACL the preseason, and then everybody was like, my wifey was like, look, because we were going to try and have kids, and she was like, look, I got to drink at games, I can't do this, we're going to be terrible. I got to be honest with you, it's not happening, so we're going to be terrible, I got to drink. I'm like, okay, babe, whatever. So we ended up starting out 14-0, right? Crazy. And the whole year, Coach Rivera would just keep harping on this. Two things, he's like, guys, let your personality show. All right, let your personality show. Be who you are. And not only that, but be where your feet are. Wherever your feet are at, be there. All right, when you're in this meeting room, be here. When you leave this place and you're hanging out with each other, be there. All right, when you're at home at the dinner table, be there. Wherever your feet are at, lock in. And that makes so much sense to me. Just being where you're at and actually taking time to get involved with the people that are around you and not taking that for granted at all. Every day we get to come to work. We don't have to be here. We're 14-0. Who doesn't want to be there at work? Everybody wants to be there at work when you're 14-0. So take advantage of it. When you're here in these meeting rooms, be here. And he would just harp on that all the time. Be where your feet are at. Be where your feet are at. And that's one of the things I really just try to take with me, and I don't take it for granted. I was speaking with people earlier here from Laurel, and they were just telling me how big Saints fans they are and all these other things. And then I come to find out, they're thanking me for just being here. And I'm just like, man, I'm just here where my feet are at. In my mind, that's all I know. And I'm just who I am, and I'm cordial. I'm just a normal person. I don't look at myself big, little. I'm just me. I'm the same Roman Harper, born at 108 Rosewood Drive in Prattville, Alabama, that I was 35 years ago or 36 years ago. And I refuse to change for anybody. And it's because of that, it's kind of helped me who I am today. So this is another note. Sorry, I apologize for awkward pauses here and there. I got to work on that. But about the 2015 season, I'll also talk about being able to finish what you started, all right? In 2015, we started out 14-0, won a couple playoff games. We lost one game in between the last game. And we ended up being 17-1 that year, going into the Super Bowl. We make it all the way to the Super Bowl. We're definitely clearly the favorite. We're playing the Denver team who had gone through two different quarterbacks. All right, Peyton Manning was on his last leg. I played him again. I played him in Super Bowl 44 when he was lights out. He had just won the MVP. I played him 6 years later in the Super Bowl 50. He couldn't throw a ball 40 yards, right? So in my mind, this game is cake, all right? But it's something about finishing, how hard it is. It's so easy sometimes to just get there, but to get over the top and to be at the peak and all the way at it, right? At the apex of that, it takes everything you got. You got to play great on offense. You got to play great on defense. You got to be healthy. You got to not turn the ball over. You got to have the ball's got to roll your way. We had calls go wrong for us in that game that could have been complete passes that were incomplete. We fumbled the ball 3 or 4 times. Cam done drop on the last ball. All right? We give up touchdowns. And next you know, we lose a game that we clearly, if we played this team 10 times, we probably win 8. But you let somebody disrupt you that doesn't even carry the ball, you lose by a guy on defense who gets the MVP. Things like this just don't happen. It's because we weren't prepared. We weren't ready for it. All right? And I want you to understand what all it takes to finish in life. Finishing in the classroom, finishing when you're at work, finishing every day, all right? Finishing when your parents are talking to you. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. All those things right there will benefit you later on in life. If you just keep that attitude, keep that mentality that whatever I start, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to see it through. Whatever I start, I'm going to finish it. All right? I will not give up. I will not quit. Dr. Burgess also wanted me to talk to this group about professionalism and what I see it as. For the longest time in my job, that was the ultimate compliment in football, is that I could be called a pro. man, that guy right there, he's a true pro. That's a compliment. That is the ultimate compliment. That's what I worked for my whole career, is to be called a pro. That guy you see, Harper, he does it right way. He's a true pro. That means I'm getting it in the film room. I'm doing all the things the correct way. He's a constant professional. Those are the ultimate compliments in my profession for so long. All right, and that consists of these type of characteristics. These are the things that I'm talking about. Being on time, consistency, you're reliable, you're smart, you do the right thing, sometimes without even being asked to. You just do it. It's just a feel. You just know right from wrong, and you just always do the right thing. Making plays when your number is called. Because it's not always going to be, your number's not going to always be called, but when it is, you got to be ready to step up and make that shot. And you got to make that play. That's a pro. That's the constant professional. And I feel like that can be relatable in all avenues of life. All right? I'm going to be on time. You can control that. All right? I'm going to be consistent. You can control that. We're not saying you're going to be perfect. Football is an imperfect game played by imperfect people. There's only been one person that's perfect that's walked this earth. And he ain't coming down right now, at least I hope not. If he is, I'm ready, but not right now. So, it's an imperfect thing played by imperfect people, so we understand mistakes will happen. But consistency, being there on time, knowing what you're gonna do, knowing your assignment, being reliable, and being smart. And smart's not always A's and B's. It's just making the right decision. Just being right. Just, all right, well, if it's a one-way street, don't go down the one-way street. That's little things. I'm not asking for a genius out here. I'm not a genius at all. But I can make the right decisions. So, to me, a pro is never used in the same sentence as potential. To me, potential is the worst word in sports, and I hate it. I tell my wife all the time, she's just a walking ball of potential. And I love her to death. But she could be so much better in so many avenues because she just doesn't, potential means you haven't reached where you can be or where coaches or people see you as, but you're not at the bottom either. That's a dangerous place to be. Potential. I hate it. Why? Don't ever let that was one thing I always prided myself on. I refuse to let another person have a higher value of myself than I have of me. I won't let it happen. I'm not gonna let somebody else have a higher opinion or value me than what I see myself as. If they think I'm right here, in my mind, I'm about to be here. And I won't back off that. That's a dangerous place when you're talking about, oh man, they got tons of potential. That means you haven't reached it yet. You got a long way to go. And that's how you should approach every day. The moment people start using the word potential on you, it's a dangerous thing. Very slippery slope. Stay out of that. You don't want to be potential in a bottle. I get built up when I talk about potential. It's a word for me. I think the best pros all have a sense of humility in terms of like game recognizes game. Sometimes not everybody's a humble athlete or a humble person. I get that. I can't sit up and say all pros are humble. That's not the case. But game always recognizes game. I recognize when somebody else can ball. I recognize when somebody else has game. I recognize when it's another attractive young brother, you know what I mean, with some swag. I recognize when it's a nice looking young lady. That's game. I recognize it, just like you. And they recognize that too. You know, you can wear a certain attitude or persona or confidence just by the way you walk, talk, act. And sometimes the first impression is everything, right? Perception is reality until you change it. So that right there, my DB coach in Carolina would say something to me, and it's also stuck with me. I learned a lot in Carolina, as you can tell. He would always tell us, guys, stay green. All right, what does that mean? Like that tomato, right? That's like green, it's not ripe yet, it's still like young, it's still gotta develop. That's what he meant. You stay green. Don't ever think you gotta figure it out. The moment you think you gotta figure it out, that's the moment you slip. And you don't have to worry about the guy that you're chasing in front of you. It's always the one behind you that you gotta worry about catching. So, stay green, and that's in everything. My dad said stuff like, Roman, the day you stop learning is the day you die. So that means I need to learn something new every day, all right? I learned Miss Carrie tonight. It's not Gary, it's Miss Carrie, all right? So I learned different things every day. And you can learn from a homeless man on the street. It's not, you don't need a genius or a Phi Beta Kappa to learn something. Anybody can teach you anything. Stay green, and that's in every aspect of life. It's just continue to learn, absorb more. I've tried to pick up reading. I was telling somebody about that today, how I just started reading, picking up different habits, continue to learn, continue to evolve. I don't want to be like the dinosaur, I want to be like the crocodile. The crocodile figured it out. They made it through the ice age. The dinosaur, not so much. So that is what I'm trying to be like. I would also tell a lot of you guys in here to be a leader, not a follower. The definition of a leader is the person who leads or commands a group, organization, or country. So you look into that, and you got to lead somebody. So if nobody follows you, you're not a leader, all right? If you have a couple people following you, then you're kind of a leader. That comes with responsibility. A leader doesn't have a specific look. It could be male, female, tall, short, black, white, Asian, or purple. Just a leader is a leader. There is no definite characteristics of a leader that just have it figured out. It's not like it's not a thing. It's just something that people have inside of them. I'll give you a couple examples of great leaders that I've met in my life. These are just a short few from my football career. A guy named John Vilma played middle linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, played for the Jets, one of my best friends. He's a great leader because he's the best leader of men I've ever been around. I don't know why. The dude's kind of crazy, kind of throw it off, speaks great on TV, I get it, super smart. He's more of a numbers guy. But when he speaks, people listen. And when he says go, people follow. I don't know what it is. He's been a captain at every level of his life. He's smart, he plays hard, he does it the right way. And for that, he's earned the respect of his peers, and he is a leader. He's the best leader I've ever been around. And when our captain says whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna do it. That is a leader. That you have the commandment, the commands of your room, and when you say go, they go. Without a question, there's no hesitation. If he came in here right now and said, we're gonna run cover 2, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. It's just that simple, all the time. Drew Brees is another amazing leader. I use him as an example because of his time on task. When you look at Drew Brees, he's the first one to work every day. He's been that way for the past 12 years that I've known him. He's the first one in, the last one out, every single day. He beats coaches there, he beats every other player there, and he's been doing it for 13 years. If anybody could take a break and be late for work, it would be Drew Brees, but it's never the case. That is what you call doing it by your actions. My actions speak louder than my words. Before you ever see me line up and throw a pass, you know I put in the time because my car is here before everybody else's. That is what a real leader does. They lead by example. Not only that, but when you look at him, he's the best husband. He's committed to his wife. He is committed to his faith. He's an awesome dad. He's doing it 24/7. That is what a true leader does. He just doesn't do it here, and then when you see him, he's a different guy there. Drew leads by time on task in every aspect of his life. Not only that, but he handles it on his business side too. So you see the guy's a true hustler too. So you appreciate him, and that's why I think Drew's one of the best leaders, and he cares about people. He truly, truly cares about people. He's not a big time guy. I mean, he answers my phone calls, but the time on task is why I think Drew Brees is one of the best leaders I've ever been around. Sean Payton is another great leader. Sean Payton's a real fiery guy. He's real hot and cold. He's competitive. Sometimes I would call him borderline cocky. I mean, he is cocky. I mean, it's not borderline. He's a cocky dude. But he's going to tell you exactly how we're going to win this game. And a great leader is going to give you directions. And we're going to tell you exactly how we're going to win this battle. And I'm going to draw it up so crystal clear. When you walk in here, you're going to know exactly how this thing's going to unfold. He would tell us, hey, look, guys, I'm going to run the ball. I'm not going to do anything dumb like go for it on fourth down. I'm going to punt. I'm going to make sure I play it smart. We're going to not turn the ball over, and we're going to keep it close. By the third quarter, fourth quarter, we're going to make a play, and we're going to win the game. And I've won plenty of them just like that. The same crystal clear way, if we go into it with this game plan, this is exactly how this thing's going to unfold. And for me, that makes him one of the greatest leaders I've ever been around, because he can give you the direction exactly and crystal clear how this thing's going to do. Not only that, but he's going to confidently sell you on it and tell you it's going to work. And by the time, I've never been in a room with him where we ever thought we were underdog or that this team was better than us. Not one time. Even though we played against teams that are probably better than us. But because he can tell you exactly how we're going to win this game and the game plan behind it. To me, he was one of the best leaders I've ever been around. Ron Rivera, the complete opposite. He was stoic, just like this all the time. He never really yell. He had his dark shades on all the time. You never see emotions. He's just there. Maybe it's the army in him, I don't know. But it was so confident, quiet confidence. I want to say this correctly, so I'm going to read it. He installs confidence in you through his words and calm under pressure. And when all things around you are rocky and that you are here, but he would always remind you that you are here for this moment and you're ready and prepared for it. There's no moment too big for everything that we've done. His confidence that he would just exude to you, because he would look at you as man to man and go, hey, you got it. Or all we need to do is this, stay calm here, stay right there in it, and we're going to be just fine. All right, we're prepared for this. We've been in way worse situations, and we're not going to turn around and go back. All right, we're going to keep going forward. And I think that confidence that he would be able to exude into us by the preparation and the things that we go into, that gives me the ultimate confidence to follow this guy. That is what I see as a leader, that he exudes confidence into his followers or to his players to be able to go out there and win ball games. And when the times are rocky or when the times are rough, just like when the times are really good, he's always still the same. He doesn't get emotional. He's going to be the constant leader that you need in your life. I would say another aspect of a leader, I just gave you a couple examples of my personal life of who I thought were great leaders, who you guys would know. But I think one of the things a great leader will always he'll do like Michael Jackson. He's always going to look at the man in the mirror first, right? When things are wrong, when things are down, I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to look to my left or to my right. But how can I be better? How can I improve? What can I have done better than what I just did? It's all on me. At the end of the day, how can you expect the people around you to get better if you're not improving on yourself? How are you going to look over there and think he's supposed to get better and you ain't doing no better? So for me, I learned that later on in my career, that how can I ever be a good leader or a constant player if I'm not steadily improving my game? And how can I look at the man beside me and have him trust me that I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure I'm doing whatever I can, right? So remember that. Start with the man in the mirror first, or the woman in the mirror first, before you ever start pointing fingers at who ain't doing this and who ain't doing that, and who should be doing this and who should be doing that. You start in the mirror first, and then work from there. And always remember, how can I expect for others around me to be getting better if I'm not getting better myself? A leader attacks problems, not people. That's what a real leader does. We all live in these same communities. I've seen Laurel. I saw a really nice street, then I saw a real not so nice street, then I saw a really nice street that backed up to like some kind of run down apartments. I'm like, everybody does live together. I like this place. All right? And it does no good for us to sit up here and talk about these type of people ain't this, and that person ain't that, and I don't like this. We are all together in this together, all right? This reminds me of my hometown. We all are one community, and that we will be better when we address problems inside of our own community and not people. We're not gonna separate each other and talk about who needs to be doing this, and I don't know about that. It's addressing problems. We need to address problems when it comes to teamwork, all right, and togetherness as a whole. You have to attack problems, not people. And I think when you get past that part of it, you will really find some real answers, all right? Because personalities and bowed upness and this one-on-one stuff is not it. It's not gonna actually get to the bottom of anything. It's the same way when I'm talking to my wife, all right? When you have one-on-one conversations and confrontations, you got your gloves on. That's why when I went to therapy, we went to therapy session, it was awesome. All right, you're in front of a third party. Nobody wants to come off as a crazy person in front of a third person. I'm not crazy, she's crazy, right? That's what we all do. Oh no, it's not me, it's her. Oh no, it's not her, it's me. But nobody wants to come off as a crazy person, so the first thing you do is you take your gloves off. And now you really start to address problems and not the person. Now we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty of what really is the issues. That is how you address problems. That is how you improve. Is you attack problems, not people. And that is one thing I think a great leader does. You address issues and problems and not the people. A leader, this is the last aspect of the leader thing I will talk to you about. A leader must care or love the ones that you lead. And once they understand that you care and love them, they're going to be willing to go the distance for you. They're willing to do a little bit more for you when they feel that you love or care about them. Remember what I told you about being a quarterback? That's what it's going to take. Stuff like that is what makes the switch go. You know what I mean? When they know that you're willing to just do a little bit more and that you actually care about them and we're not just a teammate or we're not just a coworker, okay, now we're ready. You see what I'm saying? I call it Chiefs versus Indians. First of all, everybody wants to be a chief. Oh, I can lead, I'm a chief. No. Not everybody's built for that. But once the Indians know that that chief cares about him, and he's gonna be riding on that horse right beside him, they're willing to go. Whatever you say, we'll go over the edge for you, because they know that you love them, and that you're willing to go the mile and the distance with them. You're not gonna be sitting in the back while you way out there going. You right there with them. And I feel like that is the definition and qualities of a leader that I always have looked for and have strived to be in my life and as I've grown into the man I am today. All right? So once you know, you gotta love them, or you gotta care for the people. You can't love everybody, I get that. But you gotta care for them, they gotta know it. And if you do that, your coworkers and your teammates will be willing to go the distance for you. The last thing Dr. Burgess asked me to speak to you guys about is philanthropy. And that is the give back action and things like that. First and foremost, we wouldn't be here tonight if somebody didn't have this vision and recognize the importance of it in this community. And that's you, Dr. Burgess. I appreciate you. I mean, this has been a beautiful like 24 hours for me. I don't get to come home to Alabama a lot. I've not been to Laurel, and actually been here and not off the trap like I talked about earlier. So it's been really cool. I mean, I took a picture by the downtown sign. I saw this sign that I had to take a picture of. I've been really sightseeing in Laurel. I saw a picture of this Ready Freddy car wash thing for 50%. I thought that was awesome. Things like that, I appreciate so much more now in my life because people look at me like I'm supposed to be something big, and And I enjoy the really simple things in life. The times I get to be around new people, the times I get to like meet people that are really cool and just down to earth, that are just like the same people I grew up with every day. And I get to be that aspect and just be who I am. And then you never know what a smile and a handshake can do. And how just being normal is just not normal anymore. Everybody has so many hidden agendas. Everybody's trying to be famous or Instagram famous. It's all these other things, and it's a time and a place for that. But at the end of the day, when you really recognize what real life is and how sensitive life is, how tomorrow's not promised for any of us, you really try and take a step back and just enjoy the little things. And the time that we actually get that my phone is AT&T and that I haven't had service in 2 hours, and I just get to just hang out and talk to people. I really enjoy that. It's been really good for me. And I just want to say thank you for that aspect of it. Like I said earlier, I gotta keep talking, I'm just rambling a little bit. My foundation, we talked about philanthropy, Harper's Hope 41 Foundation. I do, like I said, I started with my mom. I had been in the NFL for 3 or 4 years at the time, and I felt like I always wanted to do something to give back. I've been blessed with so much my whole life. There was no reason, and I couldn't just keep living and growing as this football player and not do something back in my hometown or something. I was the second person only to make it to the NFL and from my hometown. The other guy was a fullback named Kevin Turner. He played at Alabama. He died of ALS 3 years ago. And other than that, it was me. And Kevin was 15, 18, almost 20 years ahead of me. So I'm it. I didn't ask for that, but God gave it to me, so I gotta use it, right? So I'm not gonna sit up here and act like it was all me. I didn't get here by myself. It was everybody that taught me when I was young. Miss Rose, first grade, who spanked me one time in class. Miss Anderson in second grade. Miss Smith in third grade. Miss Page in fourth grade. Miss, I don't know, fifth grade. But anyways, you get it, all right? I have to do something. So I wanted to start an after-school program. My mom and I came up with this whole deal that it was Harper's Hope, all right? 4-1, which was my number, but it was like 4-1 family, 4-1 person, 4-1 school, 4-1 community, 4-1 whatever. And then we branched off from there. I helped rebuild homes in the New Orleans area after Hurricane Katrina, because that's when I got there. It was still devastated when I got there. I think we ended up helping build 18 homes, rebuild 18 homes with me and some of my other teammates teaming up, and we were the first wave to kind of get in. Then I started asking other teammates that had some money to like, hey, put in, and you know, Southeast Louisiana is gonna match it, right? The United Way. That's who I teamed up with, and I started doing a lot of work. And then from there, I got into the reading initiative. Then I started reading with Roman, and now we do reading with Roman back in my hometown. And we also do it in Charlotte, North Carolina. We also do it in the state of Louisiana, and that has not changed. And I don't plan on it changing. We still do fundraisers. We still do a whole bunch of other things, even though I've been retired now for 2 years. But my dream and my goals and my missions have not changed. I'm going to continue to do more. I'm going to continue to spread my wings and continue to talk to others and making sure we just continue to grow. I want to feed back into others because so many are fed into me, and I just want to continue to push that back out. Yes. I would also say that my dad used to always teach me about reaching back and pulling forward. I think that's what you guys got to continue to do in this community, all right? Derek, you kicked it off by doing this. Not only that, but you're trying to reach back to these young kids and pull them along. Not only that, but you parents here, you guys are reaching back and pulling forward, bringing kids here. You guys seeing these things. Hopefully you're inspired to go do more. Hopefully you're inspired to reach out to your neighbor and do more. That you guys will continue to do more and more, and then you guys will be a self-sufficient, up-and-coming powerhouse of just people loving on one another. And that's what it's about. That is what it's about. I think you guys have something really special here. I was here earlier when they were giving away some of the scholarship awards, and his name was Nick, right? Mr. Nick was the tall guy speaking? Yes. Kurt, sorry. Mr. Kurt was up here talking, and the fact that he was so transparent about all the things that they're doing in this community and what this the Sports Central Sports Medicine Group is doing. I mean, they're not even hiding to you guys. They're telling you exactly how many guys that they tested for concussions, how many rehabs did they have this past year. They're being very transparent with you because they want you to know everything that they're involved with you guys as children, and your children are their children. And the trust factor, that's not everywhere. It's not done like that everywhere. I've seen big cities and big hospitals and big groups not work that efficiently, not work that closely with your families here in this town. And plain and simply, they probably just don't care. You're just a number. And it doesn't seem like that way here. And then for that, I think that's value in that. I think it's value, I think it's special, and I think you guys got something really, really, really nice here. And for that uniqueness, I would applaud you for it. And I think you're building something really great. I think after the first time I talked to you, Derek, that I called my friend who's a PT, and he's in Indiana, outside of Indianapolis, and he's teaching up there at Indiana State. And I told him about what you guys are doing here with this sports group and how you guys have started this, and then you kind of help other kids that can't afford to get into the program that are actually going there and training. And then not only that, but you're doing injury prevention early. Then you're building relationships with the parents to where they trust these doctors to where when you do occur injuries that you're going to be able to send them to the same guys that they've been working with to rehab and surgery and everything else in between. I thought it was genius. I'm like, I could have thought of it like that. And you let the doctors be involved, so then they're getting more personal relationships. It's not just you signing in and you're just signing me over, your kid over to me for surgery. But we're going to be on a personal relationship. We're on the sidelines during football games. We're at all the different sporting events. I think it's absolutely dynamite, and I applaud you guys for what you guys are doing here in Lowell, Mississippi. I think so many others could be learning from you guys and what you guys have here. I think it's amazing. The last thing I would leave you with, and this is for most of the young people in here, I just want you guys to know, if you don't take nothing from this, you take this and run with it, that you have worth, all right? You have value. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you ain't worth nothing or you don't have value. You are worth it, and you take that and you run with it. You go achieve your goals. You set high goals, all right? I was always told, if you aim for the stars, you may land on the moon, and that's okay, all right? Don't let nobody tell you that you ain't worth nothing, all right? When you go to college, and when you go off on doing whatever you want to do, you have value. And if you don't believe it, the first time you get in trouble, you're going to be in the newspaper. They don't do that with everybody. That means you have value. You have worth. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you aren't or that you cannot, because you can and you are. And that is what I always try to value, and I will continue to instill that in my own children. I'm not just going to sit up here and speak it to you and not do it in my own home. So for that aspect of it, I appreciate you guys for listening. Sorry if I carried on too long or too short, but I appreciate it, and I will enjoy beautiful downtown Laurel tonight. Thank you.
That was an awesome speech. Let's give him another round of applause. So be yourself. Don't let people tell you that you have potential. I know Trent Malloy will be using that again. And be where your feet are. And that's great. And I think everyone can walk away with something that they learned tonight from that speech. So once again, I'd like to thank all our donors, sponsors. Thank you, scholar athletes. Thank you, parents. Thank you, coaches, for bringing these guys from Collins, from Laurel. We really appreciate it. Now we'll go through our winners from the auction. Now, all items have not been bought. Let's see, Patty, where are you? All right, so I see a lot of kids in these first two rows that need to go home with something. So if the items are not bought, you can still stop by and buy something on your way out. My daughter is turning 6 today. Julia, where are you? You still awake? Come on up. She's gonna help me out. She's asleep? Okay. She's knocked out. Anyway, come on, Suzanne, come help me out. All right, so the winners, I have the winners for the silent auction that will see Becky Collins or Patty in the lobby to get the item that you won. So Thomas Burgess, myself, Jill Kennard, and Terry Mitchell. And Trent Malloy, Michael Burrows, y'all won as well. Just stop out there and get your gift. All right, so now we will have a drawing for this nice helmet here that has been personally signed by Roman Harper. And I bet he will even put your name on it when you win this award. All right, so I'm gonna shake it up a bit. Close your eyes so they won't think we're cheating. Reach in the bucket. Heather Flatto, you are the winner of this beautiful helmet. So that concludes tonight's event. Thank you all for coming out once again. The people who have the VIP passes, you will go to the coffee shop where you will have your pictures taken and be able to have the meet and greet with Roman Harper. And like I said, he'll be in downtown Laurel tonight, so you know where to find him. All right, thank you again for coming. Come here, Julia. You're awake. Come on now. Take a picture.
Hey guys, how's it going? They said her pops was asking about me coming in. And yeah, I didn't even remember. Yeah, that was good. How you doing?
How about you not look? I'm a beside you turned green. You stared at it enough. Don't look at me. You stared at it enough, it turns green. You just say shut up.
He was laughing. Come on, there you go.
His jersey. Alan, get it. That's my shoe, boy. Come on. You can't go through that. Come on in. Yeah. Put this in here. Probably all of it. We're not at the guitar tomorrow. We can change out This is not his jersey. It does matter. Yes, it does. He's not in about it. I'm not so very expensive. You get it back. I understand. Where's it? This is cold, so you'll have to find it and go. I'm getting my phone case out. Cause I ain't got nothing else. Stop. Hey, don't you quit. I got 3 of them I can donate. He ain't in the family, so you can't really donate them. You can't donate them. Ain't in the family. Oh yeah, well, you can donate me. On Mother's Day, they said, how many children do you have at the time? And I was like, wait, that's my husband. Okay, I only have 4 children. And you should have said 5 for that one. You count as a child. He is a child. And he is a child. But Kate's got the gold Sharpie, so he'll have to sign it on the Charlotte gold. No, Sharpie. No. First. Put it in your box too. When you get service, don't get your phone case on. Why not? You want to be so bad. He said it way longer. Yes. Wait, before did I not tell you like way earlier that I was gonna get my phone? I said it like pretty much at home. Yeah, I said it at home. I did say it. I didn't say it at home. I did say it. What are we doing? We're in the coffee shop right next door.